My name is Ajay Sarpeshkar.
Hello to everyone. My name is Vishnu Govind.
Hi, my name is Ramesh Babu.
My name is Naveen.
My name is Suresh Prasad.
Refer to me as Siddharth.
Just call me Sigma.
Hello, welcome to all the listeners. This is a special episode. This is a little more special because we have not only the hosts for all the episodes for season 1, it is also the editors have also joined in. So welcome to the new episode. This is Chronicles season 2, episode how many? What episode are we at, Fauzan?
I think we've crossed the 13 mark.
The 13 mark. Well, 13 episodes in, and now we are here to record the editor's take. Probably give you a little bit of a glimpse behind the scenes, a sort of juicy take. So right now we are all sitting here in the rock garden, all of us together, and let's just go probably around the table and see, what people have to say about their experience so far. Anish, you've joined us recently. Season 2 was when you had joined the Chronicles team. So who have you interviewed? And could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure, thanks Adrian. Fauzan just handed me the mic and now I have no choice but to talk on the spot. So the way I joined Chronicles was when Vasha DM'd me asking me if I wanted to interview one Mr. Suraj Prasad, who happened to work at Tesla. And I was very excited because he worked at Tesla, a company that I enormously respect. I was added into the group and suddenly Fauzan DMs me saying that he wants to interview the person from Tesla. I was very disappointed, but since I was the senior, I decided to let it go and offer him that spot. Anyway, a couple of weeks passed and then I got the opportunity to record a podcast with Commodore Jaiprakash, who worked in the Indian Navy and rose to the rank of Commodore. I think it was a very, very interesting experience. He is, I think, 70 plus now, and as you know, technology isn't something that all of them are very comfortable with. I had to walk him through how to use the software that we use and how to record, etc. This was done entirely online, by the way, not face to face. And yeah, it was very interesting. You see, before every recording, we actually have a pre-talk with the person that we are interviewing. So basically, during the pre-talk, we talk about their life, we talk about what we can record about in the podcast, etc. And I think the pre-talk offers some of the most interesting insights into the person that you're interviewing. More often than not, the person that you're interviewing will open up to you during the pre-talk, but during the actual recording, will become very stiff and formal. Something about the mic puts them off, and I saw this happening with all of my interviews. During the pre-talk, they're very comfortable, open, etc. Does anyone else have had a similar experience?
Oh, by the way, Anish, I think we definitely should mention him sending you all those photos.
Oh, absolutely. You see, UVCE Chronicles doesn't just interview our alumni, it builds relationships with them. The Commodore in question, he was very enthusiastic, and as soon as the recording was over, he actually sends me tons of pictures of his batch, of him being in the Indian Navy, of all the memories he had during his time in the Navy. And I think that just tells you how involved these people are and how much they appreciate what we're doing. When I mention building relationship with people, I also have to mention Mr. Vivek Kaul. I interviewed him, I think, a couple of months after Commodore Jaiprakash. And Mr. Vivek Kaul has been actively involved in all of our activities, I think. What all was he involved in, Adrian? He came for the TEDx.
Yes, he's been here for TEDx. He even asked you, I believe, for your personal opinion on a decision he had to make.
That's true. And also he was there for Impetus. No, not Impetus. Which was it? Inspiron.
He was there for 5K run also.
Yep, for 5K run too. And all of that started with us recording a podcast with him. After many, many years, the first time he came to campus was during the podcast recording. This was a face-to-face one, by the way. And since then he has been very actively involved in all of our efforts in college. Yeah, Chronicles builds relationships. It builds bridges between the alumni and the students in campus.
Yeah, I definitely agree because this season, especially the first season, was entirely more or less recorded during the pandemic. The only offline recording we had was the editor's take. And for season 2, we had a proper setup. We had Marvel there, and I believe Fauzan, I think Naveen sir's podcast, that was our first proper recording in Marvel. Can you tell us more about how it came about and who else you interviewed during this season?
So I interviewed Mr. Suraj Prasad, Mr. Naveen Kumar, and Ajay Sarpeshkar sir. And I think, I was obviously lucky to have or host the first Chronicles episode that was done offline with an alumni. And I remember waking up that day feeling very nervous because I had already hosted the episode with Mr. Suraj, but doing it offline would be a completely different dynamic, right? So I had my set of questions, and Naveen sir was already there in Marvel, and Satish Anna was also there. All of you guys were there talking with him. And I think that initial interaction sort of broke the ice, and by the time the episode started and we started talking to each other, I don't know, the nervousness sort of faded, and you could really see the kind of person he is. And if there's one thing I would say about Mr. Naveen is his sportsmanship really comes across in the way he speaks, and that's a very special vibe that I got off of him. And his answers were so intricate and layered, and they were so, you could listen to that episode over and over again and have a different takeaway each time. And that goes for all of our guests who we have on this podcast. And Suraj Prasad was the first episode I had, and I had hosted, and
I think, if all of you think that it's only the hosts here that get nervous, the guests also get nervous.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, I remember Suraj was a little, nervous about the recording.
He was.
And he was inquiring. Can you tell us more about that?
But, my reaction to his nervousness was just respect, because that's how much he cares about this. And he's not that far apart in age from us. And that just comes to show that a recent UVCE alumni graduate is just how we think. And his nervousness, he saw my nervousness, I saw his nervousness, and we were we see each other. So the podcast ended on a high, and we were able to get a lot out there. And I think it's different for most of our alumni to be in this platform, because they don't usually get these kind of questions asked to them. This is not, no one really comes up to them and says, so if you have to give an advice to one of your UVC, a student in UVC, what would you say? These aren't questions that they face normally. So it's totally understandable. And Suraj Prasad was one such episode, and he worked at Tesla, which is you don't have to know much about Tesla to know that this is someone who has made it big.
Yeah.
After that,
I think it was the most recent episode.
Episode,
and it was quite the impromptu one.
It was quite the impromptu one, because but I also had the most. It was very impromptu, but I didn't need really much time, because Mr. Ajay is someone who works in the arts. I am someone who is a big admirer of the arts. So this was perfect. He said, do you want to record the podcast today? And I did not see that coming when we were deciding to schedule this episode. And I was sure. I knew if it was not today, it'll probably happen in 1 week or 2 weeks, and it'll keep getting postponed. So we had a very level-headed conversation about art, and about how his approach to art is, and how he shares the artistic expression with all of his other fellow actors. And there was a lot that he said, a lot that I took away. Hosts have a privilege of interviewing these people.
Yeah.
So
So, I mean, that's definitely, there are a lot of people.
Just rambled.
I know, but I don't think so, because there's a lot of experience there. There are a lot of people from UVC, all of us being from an engineering background, but then again we have contributed so much to all kinds of fields, right? Sports, arts, name it. You have UVCians there. So I think the OG band of UVC, 8GB RAM, we had them on the show this time during season 2. And Srinidhi, would you like to tell us more about how you interviewed the 8GB RAM team?
Yeah, hi, thank you, Adrian. So 8GB RAM was always on the list for season 2 of Chronicles, and me personally, I'm a very big fan of 8GB RAM, and I happen to tell them again and again that I'm a very big fan of them. And so one of the biggest challenges that I faced while recording 8GB RAM was that the members of the 8GB RAM, that is Suhas and Sanjay and Raghavendra, all three of them stayed at different locations. So Suhas was in US, Sanjay was in UK, and Raghavendra was here in Bangalore. So what happened was, first I had approached Suhas to fix the time and date for the episode. So while telling the time of the episode, I had told him we'll record at 12 p.m. But I had not mentioned if it was Indian Standard Time or the time in the USA. So I still remember, I think it was somewhere around midnight or so. So Suhas had texted me, "Hi, at what time will we have the recording?" So then I had I had to apologize and tell him that okay, sorry. So all this happened. So finally, we somehow there was a lot of delay because the three of them were busy because two of them are currently pursuing their masters and one of them is working. So
I think by far the Chronicles team has spent the maximum amount of time on the 8GB.
On the 8GB RAM, yes, that is because we had the first 2 weeks went off deciding the proper time and the proper date. So yes, finally we decided that okay, we are going to do the recording. So when the recording started, one thing that what I liked was, so every time when Chronicles happen, what we do is we we prepare our own set of questions and we ask them. But in 8GB RAM, what happened was the guests were interested to get the questions asked. For example, I'm a musician, so I know what kind of questions to ask for a musician. I know what kind of questions that I should expect, so that I can throw some really good insights on the listener, so that they can get to know what is the life of an artist. So somehow I was able to connect with the 8GB RAM because maybe it is because that I was a little more inclined towards music. So yeah, so that's how it happened.
Thank you Srinidhi for sharing your experience there. So I think now there are a lot of very unique alumni we have in college, and I think the first time we met Manjunath Hebbar sir was during Unconference. So Anupama, you want to tell us more about him?
Sure. Like when we listened to him at the Unconference while he was talking, so he told a story about how he ended up in Singapore when he started somewhere else in a plane with no license, nothing. So at that time, after hearing his talk, they're like, okay, this guy is something unique. We need to ask him for Chronicles. Why don't we take a good chance of it? So we went and asked him for a Chronicles episode. He was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And that was out of box.
Just to set context for the listeners, Manjunath sir was the vice president of HCL at one point in time. Okay.
Yeah, he was like, okay, we'll do it someday. And he scheduled a meeting with a calendar. He sent us, we scheduled a meeting from this time to this time.
Yeah.
And that's how it went. And during the recording of the episode, some glitches were there. So I asked him again to state the story of his plane. So he was like, no, it's some other time we'll do it. That's there. And today I just met 73 batch Ravi Kumar sir, who I interviewed for the Chronicles also. So he was so happy to see us in college. We are doing so much work. He was like, okay, nice to meet you. So how are you doing? We had a nice convo with him. He was an entrepreneur. He was a Rotary Club member. He's doing amazing work. yeah, I'm very inspired by him, I would say.
Yeah, I guess these Manjunath sir and Ravi sir, they're not, they're not the single entrepreneurs we've had here. We're also a serial entrepreneur, and that was Ramesh Babu sir. So Grishma, I think he met you first. So would you like to tell us how you met Ramesh sir and how this first co-hosted episode came about?
So the first time I met Ramesh sir was he had actually come to UVCE, and this was around the time the Board of Governors was meeting. So he'd come along with one of his friends, BV Jagadish, and I saw him there. I asked him what batch he was from, and then I took him on a tour around Marvel, and he was quite impressed with everyone's entrepreneurial activity, perhaps, or their innovation and their confidence in etc. And he told that to me, and I said that this is not the only thing we do. There is also this there is also something not exactly of a technical nature, but something that really helps us get to know the alumni and help other students get to know them better and widen their horizons.
I believe he was probably one of the guests to be very forthcoming about this episode.
He was as soon as I broached the subject of the interview, he was very interested and very energetic about it. We couldn't do much about it for the first few weeks because of he had to travel to a couple of places, and being from the US, and so that it didn't come about for a couple of weeks. But as soon as we found a date, we met him. We had a small pre-interview chat, and he told us that his story is very different. So Mr. Ramesh Babu is a person. We
should definitely set the context here. Where did we record this and when?
So this was recorded. This was actually the very first co-hosted episode. Adrian and me recorded this with Ramesh Babu sir. And this was interestingly not done with a mic, although the recording doesn't sound that way. This was done on my mobile phone. So quite a humble episode perhaps. And it was done at a time when there was a fest going on. So there was a lot of background.
It was branch day. All of us were dressed in all our branch
colours. And Adrian wouldn't stop talking about how many EC people he could see around.
I mean, it's true. You have to face the facts.
I feel that there were a lot more black shirts around, but let's not bring that into
CSE
this.
Students.
Yeah. It's not like CSE people are inactive. Ramesh Babu sir himself was, he was not a CSE student, but his BTech was in EC, but he did his master's and his almost PhD in CSE subjects, and his entire career was a huge story. He has faced so many ups and downs, and he had so many valuable life lessons to give.
I think the thing that struck us most deeply about this episode with him was his approach to learning, that continuous learning and improvement. And then we did have a nice stroll with him to Arts College, and he treated us to Mada milk for me and coffee.
Coffee for me.
Yeah.
But he was quite fantastic. And it was very beautiful to see the love he has for learning, for science, and for kindness.
Yeah. So, thank you, Grishma. Thank you for sharing that. And in fact, this episode was not only the first co-hosted one, people were actually working in the background. In fact, Ramesh sir asked, you can definitely try to make a proper podcasting room in college, and if you need some support for that, we'd be more than happy to provide that. Yeah, so
if there are any requests for this, we will gladly accept that.
Yeah. So, in addition to Ramesh sir, this season I had interviewed Sigma Shatabdi as well as Suhas Chetan. Both of them phenomenal people. In fact, they had just one of them is pursuing the master. Suhas was pursuing his masters in the US while I had the conversation with him. And Sigma, she had already finished her masters and she was already working in Motorola. But the thing that really strikes you about these people is the fact that in a world when we are talking about how less time we have to probably focus on our hobbies and passions, they really serve to be an exception. Because Sigma, she works a 40-hour work week, but at the same time she's actively into learning all kinds of new dance forms. Stuff I've never heard about. The last I talked with her, she was trying to pick up a dance form called whacking. And and she's has a deep sense and appreciation for art. She was trying a few things with Procreate on her iPad, and it is these things that really make Chronicles special. Even Suhas is part of 8GB RAM. He is the violinist for 8GB RAM, and he was definitely talking about how they came to college on the first day and they saw that their blackboard was broken. So the class together took initiative in first year to go purchase a blackboard and come for class. So it's definitely these stories, and I think all the hosts here would definitely agree that it is not just the recording. Once the recording is done, there's a whole other side to it. There is this conversation you have with the guests before and after the podcast, and that is mind-blowing. Like really, I remember Sigma had joined in. It was already late at night for her. It was somewhere around 11. She sat up talking with me till about 12, 1 in the morning. It was late for her. It was early in the morning here. So it was definitely a fantastic experience. So I think we've heard from all the hosts for this season. But then now it's time to hear from the editors. Now the editors need not necessarily have their voice, but their work reflects through in each and every single episode we put out there. So we have Shreyas with us. So Shreyas, how did you join the Chronicles team, and can you share your experience editing Chronicles?
So first time when I heard about Chronicles, I heard it from Satish Anna, and I asked him like who's doing the editing and who's doing the background tasks and everything. And that time only I believe Srinidhi was doing. So I was like, can I contribute? It's like, yes, you can contribute. And a few days later, not few days, 6 months later, Srinidhi DMs me, is like, do you want to be part of Chronicles team? I believe, yes, it was 13th October or something. And I remember the date also. The reason I remember the date was because I was at a fest called Google Cloud Next. And I was attending an event on cloud computing, and I see Srinidhi's message, do you want to join Chronicles? And he sent some short interview questions on WhatsApp, and then I get onboarded. And that's how I got into Chronicles. There was not that much difficulty in joining Chronicles. But he did ask that, do you know Audacity? But then I was like, no, Audition. And he insisted me on learning Audacity, but then I kept on learning Audition, which is clearly superior to my end, because I am not allowed to share my propaganda because Adrian will kill me over here. So
he at least had the audacity to tell that. Audition itself.
Yes. Varsha was also about to kill me, but then again I'm alive, I'm speaking, so it's a good thing. One thing about editing videos is that speakers and hosts, they'll get nervous, and instead of keeping silence, they'll be like So in an audio environment, it's very difficult
talking about me.
Yes, I'm talking about Fauza.
Yeah, I really think a huge deal of appreciation should go not only to the hosts, the guests. Obviously, the editors put in a lot of work in the background. There's also Harsh, who couldn't join us today. He's the one who designs those lovely thumbnails you see. All of them, again, done in-house by students, for students. Again, we really hope that, you enjoy Chronicles. And the new season is coming up. In fact, we already have 3 episodes in queue. So you will be hearing that shortly. And for any further information...
Do we have more to say? I feel like we have more to say.
Yeah.
Are you getting anything?
Yes.
I think we forgot to mention how season 2 started. I think Varsha couldn't join us today, but so we had a sufficient gap between the editor's take for season 1 and season 2. So I believe the season 2 started in sometime the end of February. So we had the privilege to interview Srimati TK Anuradha, who is the first female project director at ISRO. And well, one thing is when when the announcement was put up that she is going to come as guest for Chronicles, I think every one of us were pumped up. We were actually every one of us were interested to interview. But what happened is TK Anuradha ma'am is a really busy person, and it so happens that some random day Varsha texts on the group that we'll have a recording at 4 p.m. who's up. So unfortunately I think none of us could actually make time, but it's Varsha herself who actually made free time from her busy schedule. And I think so Miss Anuradha's episode was named Escape Velocity, because that was a good start to, somewhat relating to the concept of a rocket takeoff to this new season. So I think that's an episode that was really informative and also inspired a lot of us. And I think a lot of us got the FOMO of not being a part of ISRO. So I think, yes, that's how we started season 2.
You know what? The thought just occurred to me. We are here talking about our experience, sharing our feedback, our experience, but we never have got the opportunity to hear from our listeners, all of you, who, encourage us and, keep us pushing forward. So, Fauzan, is there any way the listeners can reach out to us and let us know?
Okay. So most of you are probably on Instagram. If you are on Instagram, just DM us on @VisionUVC. That's VISION UVCE. And you can also email us, all that stuff. I just wanted to say, the thing with this second season is that we've made a couple of changes from the first season. Our first season, I think I wasn't there, but I've heard most of the episodes, and and Srinidhi and I were talking about this. We have a more focused direction now, and I guess what I'm saying is stay tuned for season 3, because we'll have a better direction and hopefully better quality, everything from our side that we can put in as hosts, part of Team Chronicles. We put in our 200% or our 300% since it's season 3. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Absolutely, Fauzan. So I think we're coming to the end of our episode, our editor's take. But before concluding, I just want to mention a small point about the diversity of guests in season 2. You see, in UVCE, all of us are engineering kids, and we don't really tend to see a career beyond that field. All of us graduate as engineers, and we feel that moving forward we'll continue doing what we have learned in college, etc. But the ensemble of guests in Chronicles stands as a very strong contradiction to that. It shows us what is possible. It shows us that literally anything is possible for us students if we put the mind to it. They too are students just like you who studied in the very same college that you did, and they achieved such amazing, diverse things. Musicians, bands, you have managers of multinational companies, you have entrepreneurs.
Sportsmen.
Absolutely. Movie directors and sportsmen.
I think the listeners have already heard quite a lot from us. We're eager to hear from you. Anish, would you like to wrap up this episode?
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for tuning into the editor's take of UVCE Chronicles. It's been an honor and privilege to be a part of this team, and I think all of our teammates feel the same. Stay tuned for more. Season 3 is coming soon. Let us know what you think about it. Bye-bye.
The Team Chronicles signing off. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree.
I am capturing the ambient noise now.
Anish is ambient noise to my phone.
Hey, Meghana. Meghana.
ಮೇಲಿರುವವರು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದೆಂದು ವಿನಂತಿ.
We're in the middle of campus.
We're in the middle of campus. Very ASMR things, and it's a lovely day. Beautiful day.
Bro, he's carrying a remote control.
Oh wow.
Editor's Take Chronicles.
Editor's Take Chronicles. You should have seen the outtakes from our first Editor's Take.
They were outtakes?
Yeah, they were outtakes. Okay, there are a lot of newbies here. How many? Okay, I think it was only... Okay, me and Srini, are the only ones from the first Editor's Take. No, he was not. All of them are season 2 recruits. Oh yeah, all of them.
So last time we had recorded on the top of canteen.
It was raining. We went to the top of the canteen and we started recording from there. That was very, very bad idea, yes. Yeah. But finally...
No, but there was so much noise. There were people here, no?
There were people here.
The rain sounds weren't really there.
No. It wasn't raining, but it was cloudy about to rain. Not exactly. Was it raining?
No, it wasn't raining. It was sort of drizzling. It was sort of drizzling, so...
Okay, not a good start.
So I think you also interviewed Vishnu sir from AMD. So that's again another poles apart experience. You know, him having going through so many career changes and transitions and eventually ending up at AMD. How was that episode?
Yeah, so Vishnu Govind sir's episode was a little bit interesting one. You know, because when I was preparing questions to ask, I still remember Vishnu Govind specifically mentioned to ask about the current chip revolution, and also so some of the cancel this. Okay.
The editors say he's keeping it.
Okay.
Movie directors you will hear very soon in season 3. Stay tuned for that. But we're just giving you. Oh wait, sorry, was it already released?
Yeah, already released.
Damn it! Cut that out. Where was I? Yes, I was saying.
Actually, I'm keeping it.
Oh, never mind. The audacity of this boy. Anyway.
We upload
Did someone say rap?
I was gonna rap, but no. We are not doing that today.
Excellent.